my prayer, my desire is that we become more spiritually attuned and more spiritually in tune and more spiritually sensitive. And one of the things that I'm learning personally, and it's not just in church, but in every situation, which is why I came off social media for a while, is I'm learning how to be present. How to be present. Because Hamashana, glory. Anasheba. I think so many times we miss so much because we're not present. And it's not just social media, it's a lot of things. It's the demon on the demon that lives in our thumbs that makes us constantly have to have a little device in our hands at all times. You know, it keeps us, I'm serious, y'all, it keeps us from being present, and we miss so much. And again, I'm not just talking about in church. I'm talking about when you're with your family. I'm talking about when you're at work, when you're out in nature. You know, when you're outside, we miss so much in the moment because we're constantly doing, I got the tablets out here. We're constantly doing this, and you know, we're so involved in that little bitty thing, you know, that we miss what's happening around us. And there's so many beautiful people, beautiful faces, and beautiful nature. I was listening to a lady. She was talking about, what was she talking about? Was it the food? When eating food or something? Gosh, I wish I could remember exactly what she was talking about. Oh, she was talking about even in the morning when you're getting dressed, and I realized so much that I missed. She was talking about how she was just enjoying everything about feeling her skin. We don't think about those things. She was putting on the lotion and smelling the scents of the lotion and smelling her own skin and just feeling. You know, we got to learn how to be present and feel. Y'all, are y'all with me today? Y'all, does it make any sense? I don't know if it makes sense. But we just got to learn how to be present and just feel. Just feel, you know? Just feel and sense and be. There's so many smells that we're missing. I know this sounds, y'all getting what I'm saying? We're missing so many smells. We're missing so many visualizations, so many things, so many visual things. We're missing so much sound. You know, listen, I just heard, for the first time, I just heard the hi-hat. I just heard it. You know, I wasn't paying attention. Now I'm hearing every little note. You know what I'm saying? We're missing so much. Not being present. Our mind can be in so many places, but we got to learn how to be present. Just be in that moment. Just be in that moment. Hear every word of every song. Not just singing the song. Hear every tone, every tune. Hear all the harmony. Listen to the drum beat. Y'all listen. Just listen. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Listen, that's God, y'all. Listen at God. God, Ashakando Robosha. God is in so much. God is in everything. God is all in all. Listen to God, y'all. Don't miss God in everything. That's God. That's God. Ishakando. It'll soothe your soul if you just feel it. Don't just hear it, but feel it. Feel every note. Come on, y'all. Listen and feel every note on the organ. Just feel. That's God. That's God. Let's talk about the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, or the problem of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Now, I'd never seen this before, never noticed this, because at one point when I was teaching this as an allegory, because we do believe that this is, I think we miss, when we take the garden experience as literal, we miss some really powerful things that I believe God wants us to see. But when we take it as literal and not as allegorical, we miss a lot. You know, so here's what I want to look at. I think what this story is used to show us. Well, first of all, let me say what I was getting ready to say. When I first looked at the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, I looked at it as, not when I first, but the last time I looked at it before this, before May, because I saw this in May, I looked at it as a good thing. I'm like, well, tree of knowledge, it was the tree of awareness. It made them aware. That was a good thing. You know, and I even taught that God intended for them to eat from the tree. You know, it was a test, just like he tested Abraham. Well, according to the story, I think it's an allegory as well. But just like the test of Abraham was a test. Remember, God told Abraham, because see, you can look at it and say God is tricky, God is a liar, or something like that. You know, you can look at it and say God is psychotic. What's wrong with God? Because why would God put the tree in the garden and God knows all things? Are y'all trekking with me? Yeah. Why would he put the tree in the garden and he knows all things before they happen and he knew they was going to eat from the tree? Well, why, if you know all things, it's a setup. Come on. But that only happens when you look at it literally. Do you see the problem there? When you look at it literally, you get a misconception about God if you use your brain. Now, if you don't use your brain, you don't get a misconception. But if you use your brain and you think, you get a misconception about God. You say something wrong with God. You say, I won't serve a God like that. He's tricky. He's supposed to know all things, but yet he's going to put this garden in the middle in the middle, y'all. The only tree that was in the middle, it says. In the middle. Temptation. Let's put it right there. That's just like, never mind. What tempts y'all? That's like bringing, what's her name? What's one of my wives out there? I got so many. What is it? One wife I got. Jennifer Lopez, she used to be my wife. She's getting old now. I got to trade her in for somebody new. I hope you don't say me. Ew, no. I don't like her. Thank you. Yeah. Jay-Z has tainted her. Ain't that her husband? Yeah, he tainted her. He done messed her up. I don't want that. That's like, okay, I'll go back in the old day. I ain't got no new wives, but I'll keep Halle Berry and Jennifer Lopez. It's like putting Halle Berry right here and saying, Jamel, don't kiss her. I'm going to kiss her. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. She's there. So God puts the tree right there. He said, don't touch that tree. How about you just not put the tree there, you know? You don't want us to touch the tree. Don't put it there. You're omniscient. You know all things. You know we're going to touch the tree. But that gives you a misconception of God because you're looking at it as literal. But it's an allegory. There's a deep, what is an allegory? An allegory is, and watch this. Ooh, don't forget this. This will make you view the Bible differently. You'll never view it as necessary. When you read stuff that make you go like, what in the world is wrong with God? When you read that stuff, you'll never question it again. You'll never, if you understand this definition of an allegory, you'll never think God is crazy again. You'll never think you'll learn to trust the Bible again. You won't think it's something wrong with the Bible. If you look at the understanding of an allegory is y'all ready? It's an untrue story with a true meaning. Are y'all with me? Yeah. Now, are you with? You sure? You trekking with me now? Mm-hmm. It's an untrue story with a true meaning. Does it make sense? Make sense? Make sense? Make sense? Y'all just going to say yeah. She said, no, it doesn't make sense. Okay. Thank you, Zoe. I expected her to say no, but thank you, Zoe. But if you really pay attention, I'm probably going to use all my 10 minutes on this, but that's okay. I'll come back next week. If you really pay attention and you look at the master teacher, who is Jesus, Yeshua, if you look at the master teacher, he did the same thing. That's how he taught his disciples, with untrue stories called parables. Anybody trekking with me? He used untrue stories with a true meaning. He would say, once upon a time, kind of like that, you know what I'm saying? There was a man. He would say, there once was a man. They knew it wasn't a true, and we know a parable is a parable. He said there was a farmer that went out to sow. It was not really a farmer. he was telling an untrue story. Okay, y'all got me. That's what an allegory is. It's an untrue story, but it has a true meaning. So, I used to look at the tree of knowledge of good and evil as a good thing because I was like, well, God intended for them to eat. You know, God is not a tricky God. God didn't say, don't eat, although I know you're going to eat. It's just like with the story of Abraham. God wasn't trying to set Abraham up. God didn't lie to Abraham. It sounds like it, if you really look at it, it sounds like God was trying to lie to Abraham because God said, Abraham, go to the mountain, kill your son. Y'all with me? That sounds like a horror story. It's sad when you're scared to teach the Bible when children in here because it sounds like they'll have nightmares from the Bible. But that's what God said. But you got to look at it differently. That's all I'm trying to get y'all to see. It sounds like a horror story. God says, yeah, okay, so look, y'all ain't never had no children. This time next year, y'all going to have a son. Yay, came true, they had a son. God comes back and says, you know that little son you had? I want you to go up to the mountain and kill him. Oh, God, them children scaring me. They laughing. Your children are scary. They are laughing. I'm scared. I ain't coming to your house. Sleep with one eye open, especially that little one with the little dangly stuff in her head. I'm going to sleep just like this. I'm scared. I love you. I love you, cousin. But it seems like, so God says, now I want you to go up there and I want you to kill him. Well, was God lying to him? Was God playing games? Because he gets to the top of the mountain and he ties his son up. First of all, you better know it's an allegory. Can I help you with something? I ain't going to get to this. If y'all don't think it's an allegory, there's something wrong with you. I guarantee you, if you take Zoe, I say, Zoe, God told me I got to take you up to the hill and I'm going to have to cut you. First of all, and you go to Crystal. Wait a minute now. Babe, me and Zoe going to go out for a little while. I'll be back. Zoe not going to be back. First of all, Joel ain't going to make it out the door. Joel is going to be the burnt offering and the perfect sacrifice. Trust that. Trust that. He will be sacrificed that day. So just think about it. If it was a real story, Abraham wouldn't have got out that door. Because Sarah would have messed him up. So, yeah. But think about it. So they go to the top of the mountain, and the son says, Dad. You know, Daddy said, hoping he wouldn't talk the whole time. Dad. He says, what does he say? Here's the fire and what else? The fire and the wood. He says, but where's the sacrifice? Oh, son, God will provide. That's what he said. God will provide. Son is probably thinking a little something. But this is what gets to me. This is how you got to understand it's an allegory when you get to the mountain, though. He clears off the rock or whatever, lays his son. Y'all think that son going to cooperate? Lays his son down, ties his, it's going to be a fight somewhere. Ties his son up. I mean, the son just sitting there, oh, this is going to be fun, Dad. You're going to kill me, Dad. I'm going to enjoy this. Kill me for God, Dad. Do it for God, Dad. Do it. No. And then Abraham takes a selfie. Him and the son. No. It's an allegory. And plus, God is not, because look at the next part. So, son tied up. Abraham lifts up the knife. Gets ready to bring the knife down. Oh my God, what are you teaching these children at home? Lifts up the knife. I'm just playing. Lifts up the knife. Watch this, y'all. Gets ready to bring the knife down to kill his son. And as he's bringing the knife down, watch this. God got jokes. He's ready to bring the knife down, gets ready to kill him. God says, psych! says, look behind you. There's a ram in the bush. Kill him instead. I'm not even going to go into the allegorical significance, but it's in there. I just got all off track. But there's a significance in there. There's something for us to see, and we got to learn how to look deeper. Because if you just look on the surface, you're going to say, God be psyching people out, man. If you look on the surface, you got to go deeper than that. There's something else God wants you to see there. And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not going to get to that. But you understand allegories. The only thing I'm going to say about the tree of knowledge of good and evil right now, and I'll pick up next week, somebody else shared this actually, and I found it to be interesting. You know how we as Christians or Christians pride themselves on free will? So God gave us free will. But if you look in this story of Adam and Eve, God didn't give them free will. Guess who gave them free will? Oh! Say it loud, say it proud. The serpent gave them free will. Isn't that interesting? God didn't give them free will. God said, you can eat, you can eat, you can eat. Don't eat from there. The serpent, they didn't even know who they were. But the serpent actually gave them free will. They ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and now they got free will. I just thought that was interesting. And we look at the serpent in such a negative way, but if you really go through all throughout the Bible and through allegories, even in the Bible, serpents, and in today, serpents carry a positive meaning, actually. We see a serpent, see a snake, oh, I got an enemy. No, that may be that. Snake in the garden told the truth. And if you look at the story, God told a lie. If you look at it literally, because God said, in the day you eat, you will surely die. The snake said, no, you will not die. Which one was right? Let's just be honest about it. Which one? They did not die. Moses lifted up a serpent, and everybody was healed. So God said, everybody that looks on the serpent will be healed. Bible says, be harmless as a dove, but be wise as a serpent. You know what the serpent represents? Wisdom. Healing. Wisdom. You ever been to a doctor's office before? Have you? What do you see? A staff with what at the top of it? A serpent. Where do you think they got that from? If I see a snake, I'm going to kill it. Now, that's still going to happen. Okay? Kill that wisdom. Buy wisdom. Clack. I know I didn't say much today because I didn't want to take up any more time. Okay, I'm glad. Okay, that's good. I'm glad it was good. Good. Okay, well, shoot. Give me a hand then. Shoot. I'll take this one. Thank you. We'll talk more about that. I promise it's going to be very interesting. You believe me? It's going to be interesting when I tell you about the problem with the tree of knowledge of good and evil. We just couldn't get to it today. God bless you. Thank you. Have a great day. I love you. God be with you. Go with God. Go as God because you are God, the God inside of you. You are connected to the eternal. There is a God outside of you. That's the God that created, that is everything, but that same God lives in you as well. Okay? So what he is, you are. According even to the Bible, it says, as he is, so are we in the earth. All right? I love you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.